Okay, I'm going to show you how I paint these trunks, I think. Get the right brush here. You can see how I've painted around this edge of this canvas. Now these trunks behind the bear here are further back, so they're going to be lighter. I've used a mixture of mud plus white plus a little ultramarine blue plus some cadmium orange. And I even want to make a little lighter mixture of that. Add a little more ultramarine blue into it. Just want these to be a gray. So I want them to fall back into the distance. And I just paint them into the wet leaves. I'll bring my leaves in and around some of these. And there's some here in the back, and I can just pull them through the leaf color without really even putting any color on my brush. But that just makes them feel like they're just dropping back into the distance. Lots of trunks back here. I have my reference material. I just printed out the picture. I have it on the tape to my easel, and where I can see it. I also have the picture on my laptop. But this I'm just kind of doing, just letting the brush kind of work through the paint and follow and the feel of just what I think's happening back there. I'm not following my reference material exactly, because again, I'm just doing this very impressionistically. And I let a few leaves break over some of these trunks. Helps give the feel of distance. Probably if I were going to do this over again, I would just totally paint that background and then just pull my trunks into it, so I don't have to come back and work around them. But this is working well. And I just have my leaf mixtures out here on the palette. I have mixed plenty of paint, so I can come back and make little corrections and whatever. But I clean my brush each time I pick up a new color, so I don't muddy the colors by intermingling them. There, came out into my blue sky a little bit with my trunk there. Just bring a few more little sky holes in there. Again, this just helps give this the feeling of depth. Bring a few more leaves over here. Bring trunks here. I want these in the distance to be really just soft. Yeah. I don't want one just following this leg. I think I'm just going to leave that kind of an open space, and that will indicate where the stream or rocks or something's back there. They don't have to have all trunks. This one's a little closer, so it's darker, a little bit thicker. Some more distant ones. This is a mix of ultramarine blue plus white. That just coolness just takes it back. A little air between those trunks. This one disappears up into the leaves. They're not all straight up and down. Some are at an angle. That helps give variety, so it just doesn't look like you have a bunch of fence posts stuck in there. And I have to be very careful. I can get things symmetrical and all the same width apart without even trying, and then they look like fence posts. So I have to work very hard to keep them varied and looking more natural. So I just come back in between, add some of those sky holes or air holes between the trees, where you see leaves coming through. Those kind of just go into the distance. Fade out. Do want a little light back here leading us to the polar bear. I'm going to bring a little bit of that blue into some of these trunks over here. And then I'll have some distant trunks in there, just behind these other trees. This one's a little further away, so it's not as dark, not as prominent. Now, these trunks here are going to be darker because they're closer. They're just right close to these rocks coming out of by the stream, so they're a little darker. And I'm going to make them, since the light's coming in from the right, they're going to be darker on the left side. These again are mixtures of my mud plus cadmium orange plus a little ultramarine blue plus some white. And that goes up over the edge of the canvas. And then on the back side of that trunk, the light's coming in from the right. So on the left side of that trunk, I'm just going to bring a brush stroke of my ultramarine blue plus white. And that just helps it curve around. This side's going to be a little bit lighter. Again, we've got this one, the leaves are coming down in front of. It doesn't matter if I pull some of that leaf color into the trunk. It comes down into the rocks. Again, I bring that blue onto the far side of the trunk. And the light's coming in from the right. And I go ahead and let this be darker up here because that's under the leaves. And like I say, I'll come back, I'll stand on my little stool and paint the top edge of the canvas. They're all sort of leaning that direction, so I'm going to make this one kind of come the other way, and then another thinner one. Just so I have 5 elements there. Makes it a little, that odd number is more pleasing to the eye, they say, design-wise. I'm going to make this one kind of disappear up into the leaves. Then I'll let some leaves come down over this trunk. So you just get the feeling of the trees without just delineating each and every single little detail on them. And a little bit of that light back here. I'm also going to bring a little bit more down into here. I want it just behind these rocks. That helps give the feeling of depth in your painting. When you have light coming in behind dark, it just helps give the feeling of light back there. Helps give depth to your painting. Anyway, thank you so much. And I really appreciate you watching my videos. If you ever have questions, please feel free to just ask them in the comments section, and I'll answer you. I'll try to answer you anyway. Sometimes I don't have the answers, and I'll tell you if I don't. But I do this for you. I do the blog for 2 reasons. On commissions, I love for my collectors to be able to watch and follow along as I paint their painting. And then I do this to help artists all over the world. Jack started doing this years ago, and after he went home to heaven, I just continue on with my blog. So you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and just thank you so very, very much, and happy painting.